me how to say ladies and gentlemen in gender-neutral terms.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
Hey, welcome to HIAC Talk Radio. Hey, did something happen last weekend? I don't remember. I don't think so. We'll talk about something that didn't happen last weekend. Craig Lagans is here. Derrick McDonald is here. Our streak continues. I was going to say something sarcastic, but I don't ever want to talk about that jackass. So we're just going to move on. But I do want to say Derrick is going to start the show off sports related, not wrestling related, because he told us he has a funny story as related to New York sports, in this case the Islanders. And I just want to make it about me for a second by saying no, I'm kidding. I want to make it about us as friends. As offline I said the Flyers would have had at least one more cup in the 80s, except and this is not going to be a shot at these two dynasties, because there's no shots I can take. I can't twist it to make it sarcastic or anything. They ran into two dynasties, one of them being the fucking Oilers, and one who won 5 total, and the other ones was the Islanders, who tore through the East with 4 in the 80s, and one goaltender, one man to this day that I would never walk up to. I wouldn't mess with him in the afterlife. Billy Smith, who was a tremendous piece of that whole thing. And you said you have a Billy Smith story.
Yes, which plays into him being a very mean hockey player, but a wonderful person. So in the neighborhood I grew up in, Uniondale, I grew up 3 minutes away from the Coliseum, right up the road. So we have a deli called Jim's Deli. Jim's Deli is right off the campus of Hofstra, where I went to school. Hofstra is right across the street from the Coliseum. Every morning, So ever since I was in junior high, before a football game, my mom would take me to Jim's Deli, and I would get breakfast. I become a senior. I'm older now. I don't need my mom. I go and I eat. So my senior year, I was trying to get a football scholarship, so I would eat a lot. Everybody just kept telling me, you got to get big, you got to get big. So I would go, I'd get 2 breakfast sandwiches, and I would sit in the deli, and I would eat and watch ESPN or whatever they had on the TV. One day I sit down, and there's this old, elderly white gentleman sitting at the table I usually sit at. Mm-hmm. So I go, hey.
Oh, damn.
Hold on. This could be a movie. This story could be a movie. So I'm like, hey, I usually sit there. Are you gonna be leaving? He goes like, no, you can sit here. And he's reading his paper. And okay, and I'm watching the TV, and the hockey highlights come on. He goes, huh? And I go, okay. And he just goes, these guys are soft nowadays. And he's just bashing the hockey players and the football players. So I think nothing of it. All right, have a good day. I come back the next week. He's sitting there, and he goes, come sit down next to me. We watch Sports Center, same thing. So we strike up a little bit of a friendship, right? Where I come in every Saturday and he's there. So I had no idea who this guy was.
Hold on. You're blowing my fucking mind here, but go ahead.
Because to me, he's just an elderly guy. I thought he lived in the neighborhood. And so one day we're sitting there and we're watching it, and the guy who owns the deli, Jim, they're showing highlights of the hockey game. And he goes, they don't make them like they used to, huh? Hatchet Man.
Uh-huh.
Hatchet Man. What the hell are they calling him? So I'm like, Hatchet Man. So I'm like, I didn't say anything. Next week I come back. I knew his name was Bill. Mr. Bill, can I ask you a question? He's like, yeah. I'm like, why do they call you Hatchet Man? Like, were you like a biker in your day or something? Like, I know what a hatchet is. It's coming. You seem very calm and very, He goes, you don't know? Well, I said, no. Why do they call you? So in this deli, they have like local New York stuff like painted on the wall. So it's like Hofstra basketball, Islanders hockey. The Jets used to have a training camp at Hofstra, so they have Jets, Giants, all this stuff on the wall. And they have like a mural to the four Stanley Cup. And he just points to the mural of the Islanders thing. So I'm like, I don't. I was like, what happened? I was like, you painted these things? And they have like the retired jersey, so it's like him. It's the GM, what's his name, Tory, whatever his name is. They're all up there. So he points to Smith. I'm like, okay, and he goes, I'm Billy Smith. I played goalie for the 4 championships that the Islanders won. And I was like, oh my, because he was such like a
he just looks like a dude. Yeah,
a nice with that Quebec accent.
Did
I
he
just
have,
thought he was just a nice man.
Did he have his beard at that point?
Yes, and he's
okay.
And so now I'm like, oh my god, like why didn't you say anything? He goes, if you didn't recognize, he said, I don't go around introducing myself to people.
Hi,
so then from that time, so then I graduate and I'm in college and I'm playing sports and he sees like I'm talking to him about it, and so I started asking stories. So I go, hey, dumb as an idiot, I go, why did you guys stop at 4? Like they woke up the 5th year and was like, all right, we've had enough. And so I was like, I'm like, what happened? And he goes, we ran into Gretzky. Yeah. He goes, by that point we were all beat up. He goes, it was barely anything left in the tank. And he goes, but I'm a mean mofo. He goes, so in game 1 I slashed Gretzky like to set the standard, to let them know they weren't going to run over us. He goes, but it was too much. They were too good and blah, 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 blah. And then he started, he goes, I love Long Island. He was working with the Islanders at that time. He goes, in terms of NHL ice, I've only been married to 2 franchises. He goes, the Islanders and the Panthers. And I only went with the Panthers because the guy who was the GM went there, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, he was like my talking buddy for like, we would just sit and talk sports like for the longest time. But yeah, I was like, Hatchet Man, like, why the hell this nice grandpa, great grandpa,
hold on. It's coming. I have this coming up here.
There it is. Right there.
Yeah.
He fucking
he's a madman.
Yeah, no, right, boom. Yeah, that hurt.
Like, and then he would tell me things like after play, he goes, oh, after playoff series, they want you like to shake hands. He goes, I don't do that bullshit. We tried to kill each other for 7 games, and now you want to shake my hand? No, I was like, oh my God, where did this come from? Yeah.
No.
That's incredible. That, mind you, I've known you since the podcast started, 2012, we'll call it. And you and I have talked hockey a billion times. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I am the joke now is I am the talking what dude on the show. So whenever there's a hockey question, Derrick's like,
yeah, let's go.
So like he's like, and I'm not making fun of you, Derrick, but when the fucking Team USA and Team Canada try to kill each other, he's like, is it always like this, or is it this? I'm like, no, Canada thinks their shit doesn't stink in hockey because that's. What's the Rob Williams joke? It's your only fucking sport, that and a mutant form of football.
That's not nice.
we have a longer. Listen, I wish the NFL would take their extra point personally, but that's what I always think of when I hear football. I just think about it.
I had meant to tell you that story, but you know what jogged that story? I was listening to ESPN radio, and they were talking like the greatest playoff performers in New York sports history. So it was like Mariano Rivera, Reggie Jackson, Derek Jeter, and then they mentioned Billy Smith because they said in the playoffs he turned into like a completely different goaltender. Yeah. And I was like, that's right, Billy. And I was like, I wonder if I ever told Dan about my.
You never told me that story. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Look at this man's. This is now, mind you, early 80s hockey, it's not the same as 70s hockey, but it's not the same as 90s hockey, and it ain't the same hockey now. And I don't mean that for good or for bad, but this man's save percentage in the days of Lemieux and Gretzky is fucking insane.
Yeah. He would say things like that. Like, you know how like you hear like an NBA player now or NFL player goes, if I played today, I do this. He told me, he goes, back then in the 80s, it was normal for a team to score like 8 goals on you. He goes, if I could play nowadays, he goes, I'd be He goes, I'd be untouchable. He also told me I don't know if this is true or not. I didn't want to call him a liar because once I started seeing videos of him, he was scary. But he told me,
yeah, good idea.
He told me he was the first goalie to win a Stanley Cup with wearing the mask. He was telling me, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, oh my god.
Oh god, yeah.
But no, what kind? You mean the clear mask? Because
no,
the style of mask he was wearing, he was the first one. Yes.
That was customized. You mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they're the masks. Like I know you're thinking of Bernie, different kind of mask. That's a whole different kind of mask.
Yeah, and I was also thinking of Kenny Dryden.
It's the cage mask, not
not
Billy Smith. Yeah, well, there it is, right there. Billy Smith wore the cage.
Yeah,
that's not what I wanted to do. Well, thanks, Google. There it is. Billy wore the cage.
Yeah, he was the first goalie to wear.
He was the first to win that with that kind of, because you had the God, I call it the you had first generation, which is just a piece of leather, Jacques Plante. And then you have Jason mask, I call it.
Yeah.
Which is Bernie and all those guys get. Then you have what they're wearing now, which has been from the 80s on. And then there's Billy Smith, HIAC, and there's a handful of others that have worn the cage.
Yeah, Grand Fury.
Grand Fury was another one, which how ironic.
Yeah, I know 90s hockey. I know it's weird. Like Dominic said his name. I'm like, oh, Detroit Red Wings. I know him. Steve Yzerman. I know those guys.
Stevie Y. Yeah. Ironically, fucking Red Wings. Ironically, the Flyers ran into 3 fucking dynasties. The goddamn Red Wings, motherfucker. God damn it.
You know, I knew Detroit was good because I had a game called Wayne Gretzky Hockey.
Yeah.
And they were unbeatable in that game. That's how I know how good they were.
Oh, my God. And you know what? Is the Capitals went through the same shit the Flyers did the very next year. So the Flyers came into it running roughshod over the entire league in 97, and then they got to the Red.
Okay. I don't want to turn this into a hockey podcast because I know you do one of those. But
used to, so don't tempt me.
Why isn't it a bigger deal that Ovechkin is going to break Wayne Gretzky's record? Is it because he's just played for so long?
Because he's Russian and he's a Putin supporter.
There it goes. Got it. That's all I needed. That's okay. All right. That's all I needed.
Now this is how the text messages goes, ladies and gentlemen. He'll text me. Now I'm hearing this. Why is this actually happening? This is why.
Exactly how it goes. Yeah. Like
I don't give a fuck because in the face of him supporting Putin, we got motherfuckers. But what's that jerk off's name on the Chiefs that ran up to him going, and then
Chris Jones.
Yeah, and then the fucking kick. Yes, and then the kicker, Butker or whatever.
Yeah.
Get back in the kitchen, women. Oh yeah, how many kicks did you? How'd that go? Let me rephrase. It was an ass fucking on national television, sir.
Everybody hated Kelsey because of who he dated, and he's the least unhateable guy on that team apparently.
I don't get it. The NFL. If you guys, this is the last sidetrack. Now we move on to football. Yeah. If you guys want, my mom's one of them. Like, I don't care about Taylor. I'm like, well, you tell the NFL that they don't care, that you don't care about Taylor, because every time they show Taylor, they make money.
Yep. That's
it. It's about money. And I do want to rephrase. There was 2 butt effings on national TV that night, and the other one was Kendrick Lamar.
To Audrey Drake, who got another one at the Oscar.
Drake. God, I haven't gotten over that. That fucking smile.
So happy.
I was watching again. I was watching with like 20 other people in Discord, and I am probably the second whitest in the group. And I was surprised with the amount of stuff I knew about Kendrick. But my point was, we all screamed except for 3 other people. That's why I know I'm the second whitest. Because when he looks at the camera and smiles, oh!
That was my household also.
Oh, he went there.
Yes.
And now we transition from football to wrestling. Not a lot to talk about this week. I don't know if anything happened in WWE.
Drake was at Elimination Chamber. See?
Yeah. Say, Drake. Hey, there. Hey, wow, man, you should have done the transition this week, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Drake was at Elimination Chamber. Nothing else really happened. So, did you guys enjoy the show? I guess so.
It was all right.
Craig,
So-
I know you've been. Go ahead, man.
No, I was going to say what, as far as the matches go, because we had 4 hours of goodness, but there was only 4 matches total.
Can I be honest? It didn't.
Yes.
It didn't feel that long.
No, it didn't.
It actually felt. Go ahead.
Plus commercials. So you have 4 matches and commercials, and a lot of experts, a lot of build up and stuff. So, is there anything that stuck out to you about the women's match or about Kevin and Sammy trying to kill each other?
Derrick, real quick, if I may.
Mhm.
I said this on Twitter, and I want to say, well, I said it on Twitter and threads. I said it on social media. I gotta stop saying Twitter. I gotta say, and I'm saying this knowing full well, but from a perspective of someone who grew up as a teen watching Trish Stratus, I think she, again, this prefaces by again, it goes without saying, she's in incredible shape and she's an incredible talent. And the only difference is, I also said Lita could if she didn't have a messed up neck, is Trish has got another 20 years, 10, 20 years of wrestling if she wanted it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this as she's one of the old guards. Yeah, but for women, old guard was 29. Like it's a different standard. If she came in tomorrow and was like in the hunt, whatever, I'd be okay with it. I lived through Cena, lived through Hogan. Trish Stratus would not offend me.
No.
Not with NXT and Evolve now. That's just my 2 cents. It just occurred to me watching that tag match going, man, like, I know it's been 20 years, but still, like, she was not there enough.
Yeah, because she retired early, didn't she? Like, she left.
She went to start a family, sure.
And good on her, because if you look at, like, everybody from that era, like, my favorites were Jazz and Victoria. They're beat up now because they all stayed past
Jazz,
Trish, and now their bodies are all beat up. But she looked amazing. The thing that stood out to me the most was not only the women's chamber match, but the last 10 minutes with Bianca and Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, who that might have been the performance of a lifetime for her. She looked amazing out there, to the point where I thought she had a chance to win. That's how good they were out there. And in terms of, I think I posted this when the match was happening, but Bianca Belair is a superstar. She is everything you want in the face of your company. I think they were happy with Sasha going to AEW because Bianca kind of filled that spot that Sasha had, and some. She's a great ambassador for the company. She's young. She's homegrown. They built her up from the ground up. But that women's chamber match, and not to slight the men's, because the men's was good too, but all those women, everybody in there, they were just, I mean, from the beginning when Jade basically assaulted Naomi.
Oh my, yeah.
The whole chamber was awesome.
Yeah, and you saw those marks on Liv. Those are all hard way, and that hair slap that Bianca does, and she doesn't do it a lot. That's what makes it special. That's why that's why AEW misses a point. If Bianca whips somebody with her hair every match, it means nothing. But the fact she only does it, and I haven't seen her do that since I think in an NXT or a women's War Games match. I see that scar on Liv's stomach. That was from Bianca's hair. I mean, absolutely incredible. But yeah, I agree. Liv worked her ass off. And as much as I would saw her winning, Liv's already gotten so much, and she's the biggest female heel they have in the company, in either company. But man, and now it makes sense now that they kind of took the belts off of Bianca and Naomi to give it to Liv and Raquel to further that angle with Jade and Naomi. But yeah, they tore the house down. That's what kills me about having Elimination Chamber, having one match and having one Elimination Chamber match and then having another one. Should be two separate. Either have one Saturday and one Sunday, but having two on the same night is, I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit overkill. So
I was gonna say, to add to that.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, Elimination Chamber is one of the big shows now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to not split it, because I agree. Because of course, we don't know until retrospectively, but the female of the species is more deadly than the male. The women's Elimination Chamber should have been main.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, the only problem I have with the Elimination Chamber being in between a Royal Rumble and WrestleMania is it's in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. The fact that nobody got seriously hurt, you really got to be thanking your lucky stars with that, because you're really screwing with your main event. And as we'll talk about later, someone actually did get hurt later on in the evening. But Jade looks amazing. So who's the heel here? Is it Jade or is it Naomi? Was Naomi the person that actually injured Jade?
I wonder if it ends up being Bianca, but she's so good as a heel.
You want Bianca as a heel though?
I don't want her as a heel, but well, I guess you could have, because you're gonna have to somehow weave Bianca into this, because she's friends with both of them. I guess you could have Naomi going, it wasn't me, and Bianca believing her, and then eventually her turning on Bianca too, and Jade kind of going, hey, but I can't see Bianca, not now, not the time isn't right now, as we'll talk about later. There's a perfect time to do a heel turn for it to be awesome, and I don't know if now is the perfect time for Bianca to be turning heel. So I guess Naomi is gonna, which I can't imagine her as a heel either. They all three of them are so likable. It's hard. Jade is the most heel-looking one, but she's the victim in this situation.
Yeah, but if you're going to turn anyone heel, it would be Jade. I mean, Jade looks like a heel. Jade has more a heel energy to her than Naomi or Bianca. But yeah, we'll see where it goes with that.
Jade has the look, because I was watching the pay-per-view and my sister-in-law was over, and Jade walked out, and my sister-in-law knows nothing about wrestling outside of like Stone Cold. And Jade walked down and she stopped and she said, "Oh my God, who is that?" Yeah. So Jade definitely with the whole black on. So I could see her being a very effective heel. But like I said, she's the victim, or so we think.
Yeah, and also you need more big heels. I mean, your top three women right now, or at least for the title, are Bianca, Rhea, and Io, and they're all faces. So we need some heels somewhere. My only question about the Sami Kevin match, which was really good. I know that's the match they always dreamed about doing, in front of 40,000 people in their hometown, was why was Randy Orton dressed to wrestle? If you're just coming back, why are you in your shorts and your tights and your ring attire? Shouldn't you just come out in your sweats and everything, since you're not there to wrestle?
Yeah.
I don't.
That's a good point. It's like I remember years ago when they were doing the stuff with the Shield and the Rhodes family, and they had fired Cody and Goldust, and they did a run-in, and they were wearing all black, like they were trying to hide. And Goldust has on all black, but his face is painted. And I was like, well, why'd you take the time to put on the gold paint if you're supposed to be sneaking into the tackle? But yeah, Randy. I guess you know what, he's all jacked up. So what do they say? You don't buy a Lamborghini to keep it in the garage. But And then he took his time walking to the ring too, which was funny.
Yeah,
to me.
no,
Like, he
no
didn't
RBC,
rush.
nothing like that.
He
Guy
took his
that
time.
yeah, the guy that almost broke my neck and kayfabe put me out of wrestling and almost paralyzed me. But I'll come dressed to wrestle, and then I'll take my time to get to the ring to exact my revenge.
Wait for them to hit my music. I always hate that when they wait for them to hit the music. You're so mad I'm gonna wait for you to hit my music for me to get out there.
And what always gets me, Derrick, and I know it's a cliche and you have to, whenever music plays in either company, whoever is beating somebody up or beating the shit out of somebody, everyone stops when the music plays.
They freeze. What's that?
What? Like you can get a few more kicks in while the music's playing because you got time. But yeah, when the music plays, everyone stops.
This was the picture. This was the picture I was talking about. I mean, first of all, but after Raw, where I'm saying it, she screwed Rhea out of the title. Oh, Bianca's the bad guy.
Okay.
I think Bianca's the bad guy, and there's a lot of people that think that, but I really think this is going to end up with the twist at the end where, oh, Jade was right. She knows something we don't.
Okay. So where does that leave?
If you would think.
I don't know. I'm not a booker, Greg. Craig, whatever your name is.
Go ahead.
What did you ask me? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, where does that leave Naomi? I mean, if your main event is Bianca and Jade, which they've been gearing towards since they made them, a tag team, where does that leave Naomi?
I really haven't thought about that. Naomi just looked like she's having a really good time right now.
I know.
Just happy to be back, right?
I know.
Yeah, that's a valid question. I don't have an answer for it, my friend. I really don't know. I just, as far as, I don't know if that means that's what the match is going to be at WrestleMania. I feel it might happen at WrestleMania, and that goes into SummerSlam. That should put me on the spot. But I do what I'm saying is I think that's ending with Bianca being the bad guy. Just the way I didn't really think about it until people were posting that picture I just shared, and then people were showing the video of Rhea yelling, "That fucking bitch! She's such a bitch!" And I'm like, oh, that's on purpose. Oh no! So I think a heel run's coming. Which do I to also answer the question you didn't ask me? I don't want her to heel either, but I can't give you a good enough reason why it shouldn't happen.
She was a good heel in NXT. And it, now that you mention it, after she won, she didn't seem too concerned about her friend who was assaulted, carried out on a stretcher. She just seemed happy that she had won. So I guess
it's that look, that shit-eating smug. I will say this, as far as the men's elimination chamber, not really happened how they did my boy Damian Priest dirty like that at the beginning.
Oh, getting pinned by Logan Paul. Well, I guess that's the setup for Drew, which I'll give Triple H credit for this. Given what the old man was doing before he was kicked out, isn't saying much. For everybody feuding, he gives them a reason, whether you like it or not. There's a reason. There's a reason Drew McIntyre hates Damian Priest. You eliminated me from the Rumble, and then you eliminated me from the Chamber. I can understand him being upset. This whole Bianca Belair, Jade, Naomi thing, if you look at it, you got Bianca can turn because she can say, hey, I carried you, Jade, for a year instead of going after a title. Like you said, Naomi's just happy to be here, and she was assaulted. Jade could be pissed off at the world because she doesn't know who did what. So everything kind of intertwined, even the whole Roman, CM Punk, Rollins thing, but then Punk comes out and he's talking junk about Cena and Rock, and it's all, so I can appreciate that. Damian Priest seems like he got lost in the shuffle. Seemed like after the year he had. Yeah.
Anybody but Logan fucking Paul. That's it.
Well, that's the problem that WWE has, and they've had it for a while. It's a good problem, but it's still a sucky problem. They have too many main event stars. Where AEW has none, WWE has way too many. main event stars, former world champions, Damian, Drew, Seth, Punk,
AJ, yeah.
AJ. You know, AJ wasn't even on the card, and that's another main event guy that doesn't have anything to do right now currently. I think he's going against Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker's another one. Why isn't that guy on every single pay-per-view?
Gunther, yeah, they got so many guys.
Just don't let him cut a promo.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's not a bad
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Not everybody has to fucking talk. This is 2025. I'm so tired of hearing that. It's nice if you want to, you know, as a backstage worker, you want to make sure your people can cut a promo. Fine. Don't worry about it, internet. He doesn't need to fucking talk.
No, he's like Goldberg. Just have him beat people up. When he spares
But a
people,
better
the
wrestler.
crowd goes crazy. Yes, he's a better wrestler than Bill. But when he spares people, when he spared Carlito on Monday, that place went nuts. Just let him beat people up.
That's your Brock Lesnar. That's your Brock Lesnar 2.0. He doesn't have to talk.
And he has lineage.
And he has a lineage. So he needs to be on TV every week doing something. Exactly what they're doing with Jacob Fatu, they need to be doing with Braun Breaker.
Yeah. Braun's so good. The fact that he's not Braun Steiner anymore doesn't even bother me anymore. Like, it used to drive me crazy.
That's always going to bother me, but yes.
Now it's just like, fine, he's Braun. But yeah, and like you said, the way they need to do, like Jacob. Jacob just shows up, he beats up random people in the backyard when he talks it. I mean, the backyard. Backstage, probably beats people up in the backyard too. When he says something, it means something. Whoever he gets in the ring with, if it's somebody big or a name, the crowd gasp like, and that's what they need to do with Braun.
Yeah, be on TV. I thought it would be Punk. I was hoping it would be Punk to win the Elimination Chamber. I don't need to see Punk and Seth Rollins again, which is kind of what we're heading towards at a Mania match. I mean, I get it, and like you said, every feud, there's a reason for it. Everyone knows like Seth doesn't like Punk, whether that's real or if it's a work or shoot. It works for them, but I'm just my opinion. I don't need to see those two in another match again. I would rather have seen Punk in a main event spot against either Gunther or Cody, especially if you want to Punk and Cody. They can even have a subtle jab at AEW during their promos if they want.
Mm-hmm.
I know Punk would say something. I know Cody wouldn't. NDA and all.
I thought it was either going to be Punk or McIntyre, because those are the two guys who talked about how they need the belt. When Cena won, I thought, okay. I thought they were going to wait to Mania and have him shake Rock's hand like Austin shook McMahon's hand at 17. So I thought they were going to wait to Mania. I had no idea they were going to do it on Saturday. And something you mentioned about how when you do something less, unlike in AEW, it means something. When you don't curse in every promo that you cut every week, when Cody told Rock to fuck off, everybody, the audience, people's heads blew off. I was at home like, oh my God, because it meant something, because that's not Cody.
Derrick, if what happened next hadn't happened next, that would have been the biggest news story of the weekend. Cody saying, go fuck yourself. But instead, we got John Cena with the look, signaled by Rock, and John Cena turning heel. Here's the thing, Derrick, spoiler, I'm looking at you. I didn't know what happened until you messaged me.
I'm sorry. I thought everybody's watching it real time.
No, it was on. I just was like, oh, we got to hear this, Rock doing the Rock. And I said, I get the message. I said, John Cena. I said, what about? I said, I know he's in the ring. What's John? And it says Cena.
Craig,
and I turned it on. I'm like, oh.
I almost did the same thing. Don't be sorry. It's his goddamn fault. I almost turned it off, and then I don't know what it was, Craig. Something was like, wait a second. Let's see what happened.
You know what made me keep it on?
What?
Travis Scott. Why is Travis Scott walking to the
Oh,
ring?
see, I didn't even
That's
think
what
about
made. That's what made me.
You know
think
what?
of it, like,
I
the
was
hell?
I'm glad I didn't tweet it at the time because then what happened because I was like, God, I hope nobody gets hurt.
Oh,
Oh, Lord.
Oh, come on.
poor
Yeah.
Cody.
Come on. Give me that one.
So,
He showed
yeah.
no remorse or accountability for that.
None.
Craig, one second.
Good.
I just wanted to spin this off.
Mhm.
Not spin it off. I wanted to start it off. It has been, even when Sting came to I will say when Sting debuted at Survivor Series, that was the last time I experienced chills watching wrestling. Before that, it had been a long time. When that happened,
Mhm.
because I genuinely was not expecting this.
Yeah.
I really thought there's no way. Like the Sting thing, I heard no rumblings, nothing. I didn't think this was going to happen, and we could talk about Cena, the 6 moves of dooms, blah 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 blah. In my opinion, he's earned it. He's not a rat bastard like Hogan, and he's not a piece of shit rapist like Flair. He just probably shouldn't ever be in a relationship because he's a bad husband or bad boyfriend.
Terrible.
That is a hell of a long way from an abuser and a rat.
Mm-hmm.
And a racist, by the way. What you can't say about him is he can't act.
Oh, that
And
face.
he strung my ass along the entire freaking time. I was like, oh, there's Cena playing the baby face.
Like, come
And
on.
then it was like a goddamn scene out of The Godfather or Goodfellas. It was a mafia hit, and the boss went, and I'm still getting chills right in the back of my neck. That shot of that, and cutting to The Rock going, kill him.
Oh, and even better, he went from that face, he pulled away from Cody, and then he smiled
And went
again.
back to, it was the promo before. I kind of like corporate low-key Rock better than the Rock we've had for the last 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he acts bad, he acts well.
Oh,
Yeah.
He doesn't overdo it. That soft, not soft-spoken, but that methodical, I want your mind. I want your soul. I need your soul. I was a teenager or younger again watching wrestling. It's the first time I got into this moment even more than the Sting thing, because he was my guy and always will be my guy. Actually, kind of knocked me for a loop, and I had to watch it again because I didn't know what was happening. I couldn't believe I was seeing the world actually telescoped. This, I'll say it, in my opinion, and it does help that he's a rat bastard racist piece of shit, means more to me than the Hogan thing retrospectively. I'm not taking anything away from the NWO, but I saw this everywhere. Now, mind you, they taught news, the national news picked up on the Hogan heel turn a little bit. Not like this.
no.
Not like this. This was incredible. I know I'm putting this over, and Craig's gonna go, "You're an idiot." I really think he's like, that's not bigger than the Hogan thing. I just maybe it's because I always hated Hogan. Like before we found out about Terry,
Yeah, me too.
I was a Sting guy, and this motherfucker from Connecticut, New York, is coming in and he's taking him off TV before I knew about spots and politics and wrestling and bookers, and he's taking time away from my guy on TV. I fucking hate you, Hogan. And so when he turned heel, I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
This
is nuts.
Go ahead, Derrick.
That's just me.
Go ahead, Derrick.
So I was gonna say I hated Hogan because I was a macho guy, and he was always taking stuff from the Macho Man. Then I was a Bret guy, and he took the title from Yoko after Yoko beat Bret. While my man Bret was
son of a bitch.
He didn't even. Well, help me to the back. Don't take my belt from the guy who just beat me. But, and maybe this is hindsight, they had to turn Hogan heel because they were booing him. I remember that. I remember watching WCW and they were booing Hogan.
2020, absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, that's hindsight. This Cena thing, I didn't think The guy is in his final run. They've spent the last 10 years trying to get the crowd to stop singing Cena sucks. They finally embraced the guy. Everybody loves him now. And then they turned him heel. It was like, it's crazy. Like, where was this when we were chanting he sucked? Rise above hate. And like I said, it's been very few times in the last couple of years where something happens and I go, oh my God. And this was one of them. And this is also a testament to Cody. And this is a redemption thing for Cody because when he left AEW, the crowd was booing him. He could do no wrong. He could do no right. He was ousted out of that company. He's gotten to the level of superstardom now where, if you think about it, since he's gotten there, he's beaten Roman, who was at the top of the mountain. He forced The Rock out of the main event of Mania and then forced him to turn heel. And now they trust him enough as a babyface that they turned Cena heel. So this says a lot about where Cody's at in terms of his superstardom too. So kudos to him. But it was and like you said, The Rock, like, if you smell blah blah blah, that Rock has gotten real tiresome. But from last year on, he's been amazing. Like one of the few times when somebody cuts a promo, usually I don't get really excited. When he was in Utah last year, and he called them crackheads, and then at the end of the promo, he goes, "Now go smoke some crack. If you smell what The Rock is cooking," I was like, "Wow, this guy he's a completely different." This final boss thing has completely revamped him. When he told Cody, "Off is the direction you can fuck," like who says things like that on television? But it was amazing, and
oh yeah, yes, off is the direction that you can fuck.
And it's like you said. I saw it on the Daily Show. They were talking about it on the radio stations. I heard about it on ESPN. It was everywhere. And
that's right. The Daily
everywhere.
Show literally took what happened with Trump the past week and Elon, and made it about. And Jon Stewart made it about Cena turning heel. It was actually incredibly written.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, because Jon Stewart's a huge wrestling fan, so
yeah.
He's the only one that can make that parallel. This was huge, and I immediately asked you guys, is this as big as Hogan's turn in '96 at Bash at the Beach? It's the biggest thing since Hogan Bash at the Beach. Hogan's was bigger because it changed the business, because it launched the NWO, because it started WCW winning the Monday Night Wars 83 weeks in a row, because no one did see it coming. And granted, no one saw Cena coming, but people have been asking for it or wondering when it was going to happen for the last 12 years. No one was wondering if Hogan was going to turn heel ever again. Even this is during the middle of his WCW run. He was in the second year of his WCW run. Nobody was asking when's Hogan going to turn heel, because nobody saw it coming. Everyone was, because he hadn't been on TV for 4 months during when Hall and Nash debuted. And the crowd reaction when Hogan turned, you saw that ring get littered with shit because people were upset. How could Hogan do this? You look at that crowd with Cena and Rhodes, half of them were cheering. The only people that were upset by Cena were the kids. Adults didn't give a shit. It was just loud. No one was pelting Cena with rocks and debris and everything like that. People were just screaming. And it was half and half, honestly. People were just more incredulous because they couldn't believe what they were seeing, but they weren't like, I hate Cena now. Because, again, half the crowd was cheering. And half the crowd was just making noise. Hogan, everybody was booing. And the ones that weren't, they were, either Hogan marks the whole time. And it's like, yes, because, they liked Hall and Nash. And we don't have there wasn't the media coverage there was then. I mean, Hogan Hogan's turn made ESPN only because Bill Simmons is a huge Hogan fan then, and it was they made MTV, but we didn't have anywhere near the media coverage we do now. So now, obviously, Cena turning would be on everything, and you could see it. And the reason why I don't think it's as big, because a year from now, when Cena goes into the Hall of Fame, he's going to get a 10-minute standing ovation. And this is going to be, because this is his farewell. You know, Cena made this up, said it last year. This is his farewell tour. This is his retirement tour. So this is how he's going.
Did Hogan get a good reaction? I'm asking legitimately because I never watched that asshole speech. When he was inducted, did they give him a good reaction? Because they did. Your whole argument's bullshit. No, I'm kidding. Let me tell you why you're wrong, Craig. No,
I will say this. I don't think Cena ends. I think by the end of the year, when this run is over, I think he'll be face again. I do think
that's what I'm saying. When he a year from now, when he goes into the WWE Hall of Fame, you're going to give him a 10-minute standing ovation. He's going to thank the fans, and yes, he's going to turn face.
I will argue that the same thing kind of happened with Hogan, though. Because there were a lot of us that were like, well, there was a lot of people, because I always hated him, so I'm not us. There's a lot of people that were like booing him that started cheering him when he went heel.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And there's a lot of parallels.
Yeah.
And let me be clear. I'm saying this because fuck Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as far as its place in wrestling, yeah, no. That is a catalyst for where wrestling is even today. But personally, I was when the Hogan thing happened, in my perspective, and this is just my perspective, when the Hogan thing happened, I was like, cool. This is a whole, you know what I thought of that kid, the kid I always bring up when people talk about not liking Cena and thinking he's a waste and the 6 moves of doom and the and because I didn't like him for a little bit for those stupid uneducated, misinformed reasons, which was he's not for me, he's for the kids. Well, that doesn't mean no. Watching that kid who waited all night for Cena to come out, and that kid finally coming alive and seeing his father's reaction to watching his son be that happy, especially for a white boy, coming out and him just reacting to his son. It was like, Dad, it's John Cena. That kid went nuts. I'm thinking about that kid all these years later, God willing, he's still watching. Satan willing, he's still watching. Going, what? No, or yes, you know what I mean. That is also another way. But no, one is not. That is not as big as the other one. But I think where we are in wrestling right now, that might turn out to be more important, but only for the shorter term because it is a finite. Hogan wrestled for another 10 years, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he was a heel after that, for during the whole NWO when it got so big that WCW changed your name to the NWO WCW.
Yeah, right.
So that's long-lasting effects. This isn't going to be. We're not going to get another 5 years of Cena being a heel.
And thank God, they didn't call it the New World Organization.
Yeah.
The New World Organization. Man, he tried that one promo. He tried to make that work. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it until it sticks. Nope.
I'll tell you this. Nash, and I don't think they get enough credit. Nash and Hall stopped Hogan from derailing that whole thing. Because even after he turned heel, he was doing his best, like you said, to make it as uncool as it ended up being. And they kind of reeled him in to make sure, like, don't ruin this. But yeah, he it was a big deal. And I'll say this about the whole Cena thing. It led to that awesome CM Punk promo on Monday, which was also kind of like a holy crap thing. Because that promo Punk cut was amazing too.
Yes, he's the perfect one to start the show. That's why I want to see him in Mania, because of why I don't want to see him and Seth again, because Punk's vitriol towards Hogan or towards everyone, especially towards Rock. I mean, that's legendary because he's still bitter about having a nowhere and takes away his WrestleMania. I mean, he's got to drop it to Rock and then Rock, and so they can have Rock and Cena at WrestleMania. So I know he's still bitter about that. But let's talk about the tiny, skinny piece of shit elephant in the room that has no business being. And here's me being old again, because we talked about with Kendrick Lamar. I missed the whole Kendrick Lamar thing because I didn't know who the fuck Kendrick Lamar was. Still don't. Couldn't name you one of his songs. Again, my excuse, I'm old.
Say Drake.
Yeah. And I'm the same thing with this motherfucker. I have no idea.
Never owed a sub block 1 though. That's all I know.
All I know about this piece of shit is that he hard way injured Cody and ruptured his eardrum. Trying to be a fucking tough guy. And now he wants to. He has already mentioned he wants to go the Bad Bunny route. He wants to be in the ring.
Listen,
motherfucker, if Cody gets any shot at him,
you know, it's coming. It's coming.
His name, he is still Dustin Runnels' kid.
It's coming.
I don't know if Travis is finished his next album, but he may be delayed in recording sessions, because if I'm Cody, I get my hands on that piece of shit. Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. Receipt is coming.
And they talked about it at the press conference, and Rock said, I told him to make it count. He goes, I didn't tell him to do that. and Rock kind of laughs, because Rock, he knows.
Yes.
Cody's going to get his receipt. One way or another.
And you know the Rock that Dwayne to Travis, not the Rock. You know Dwayne to Travis had a little conference like, just be prepared. It's gonna hurt.
It's coming, and you got to take it when it's like remember when the Jackass guys, they put him in the ring with Umaga, and they were laughing at Umaga, and then Umaga he just went into killer mode and beat the snot out of everybody.
I don't care how famous or in shape I am. Umaga is the last guy that I would laugh at within running distance.
And did you hear when you watched the YouTube when Steve-O was talking about it? And he said in retrospect, and I don't know why it has to be in retrospect, but stay down. That's what the problem was. They didn't
play dead. The bear is attacking you. Play dead, jackass. No pun intended.
Yeah, and watching Steve-O look at it again, because in retrospect, I should have stopped moving because I was really in a lot of pain. Yes, fucker, just stay there. Let them go to the commercial.
Play dead. When a grizzly bear is attacking you, play dead. It's too late to make noise.
And especially after I've been slammed by this guy, I'd wait for a fucking stretcher. I'd do an Andy Kaufman, wait for a fucking ambulance. I'm not moving. Yeah.
I wait until they take me to the casket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then go, just kidding.
I mean, he splashed one of them, and when if I was Steve-O watching the other guy get splashed, I'm like, I would have laid down.
I'm out.
No, that's it. I'm laying down.
Let me just add that I prepared a whole dissertation of comparing, and I know you're gonna be like, well, he's not the athlete that this guy was. It doesn't matter. I had a whole thing prepared of comparing this man chilling out, smoking a joint in the ring, to Dennis Rodman in the cigars during the NWO run. And then I found out he hurt Cody. I was like, well, there goes that. I got nothing left. Damn you. God damn it, Travis. Stop hurting people.
And again, Dennis Rodman was a professional athlete. Granted, he was drunk every single time he was in the ring but he was at the NBA Finals drunk. So I don't.
That's right. You don't need to go into it. I said I didn't have it because it's too late, Craig. I know. I was going to try. And then I heard the thing that he got injured. I'm like, oh, God damn it, Travis. I got nothing. I can't help you now. I was going to help him. I was going to help his case. Like, wait a minute. Dennis Rodman spent most of the time going and being cool and not really doing anything. But, NBA Finals.
He's a wrestling fan. Like, I'm at the age now where I'm pushing 40, where he's not really my cup of tea. But I know of him. He's a wrestling fan. One of his nicknames is Cactus Jack. He walked around with a Cactus Jack shirt on. He knows, any wrestling fan knows what he did to Cody. When have you ever seen that in a wrestling match? When have you ever seen somebody take somebody's head, turn it sideways, and just bash him in the head? Where have you seen that at?
I don't know.
It must have been whatever you smoking in the ring.
I mean, what's the kid's name? Now I'm showing my age. The kid from Royal Rumble, I Show Speed or whatever.
Oh,
He
I
was
know
doing-
Speed. Yeah, Speed.
And Braun almost killed him with the
With the
with
spear.
the spear. And the kid went on his stream the next night with a neck brace on, and he goes, "I'm never going back." So even he had enough common sense to go, "Nope, didn't like that. I'm going to cooperate."
And here's what makes it better. If he's perfectly fine, and unlike Travis Scott is smart to the game, and he's just playing the Kaufman card, it's even better.
Yeah.
If I'm just devil's advocate, so either way he's smart.
Well, do you remember when Pat McAfee, they played the joke on him in a shoot style that when he was announcing the Royal Rumble, I think it was in Indianapolis, his hometown, and they called his name, and he didn't know that he was going to be in the Royal Rumble, so he gets in the ring and he knows already that it's a shoot, so that he could possibly get. And what did he do? He stepped right over the ropes and walked right up. Yeah, look at
Right out. Yeah.
everybody knows.
Oh, it's the whiplash. Oh,
But I mean, you're oblivious. I mean, that was probably the best thing that happened to him, that he was completely oblivious. Had he tensed, it probably would have been worse, because he obviously didn't see it coming. But still, what the fuck are you doing in there?
When he hit Cody, this is before I knew Cody was hurt.
Uh-huh.
I saw him punch. I'm like, why? And you can tell, as somebody who's been hit many times in football, in boxing by my mom, when somebody hits you and you turn your head immediately, it hurts. And as soon as he hit Cody turned his head right away, like, oh, Cody didn't like that.
oh man, I just ooh.
But again, you're risking injury. That's why the whole Elimination Chamber as a whole, you're risking injury. And the fact that the biggest star in your company has a potentially ruptured eardrum before WrestleMania by some jack-off who has no business being anywhere near a professional wrestling ring, let alone being inside of one.
And this is after Cena, which I'm pretty sure Cody told him to do. Cena stiffed Cody with the belt shot, because you could hear the belt shot when he hit him. And that didn't hurt Cody. It was Travis Scott punching him in his ear while he was face down on the ground. And before that, remember, he was like, Cody was laying there selling, and he was like pulling Cody. I don't know where he was trying to pull him to, but he was like dragging Cody across the mat, and to the point where Cena had to go, I got this. And they helped him. But
what Travis was supposed to do, again, might have been high, whatever he was smoking in the ring.
No.
Told, grab Cody's arms, stretch him out so we could whip him. That was supposed to be the next spot. He couldn't even do that. Just grab his arm. That's why Cena had to improvise with the necktie. Joking, but yeah, if Travis Scott had just grabbed Cody's arms, let them whip him, and then leave. But again, that's again why Hogan's is bigger impact, because everyone in that ring knew what the hell they were doing.
Don't disparage him because the fucking Triple H let out Travis Scott in there, Craig. Hey, now you've got your
Now I won't allow that, sir.
I won't allow that, sir. No, I get it. Even I looked at it going, the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
That doesn't. The last time I got that verbally angry in the ring about something happening in the ring was when he died in the ring. Rey Mysterio killed. He didn't. Rey Mysterio didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Paraguay.
Yes, Paraguay.
Yeah.
But it was Conan. Afterwards, when he's laying dead against the ropes, is shaking his body, and I didn't know he was dead at the time. Going, Conan, you've been in wrestling for 30 years. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. They even said that. I don't know if you guys watched the LFG on A&E on Sunday nights. They had.
I gotta watch that. I gotta.
But one of the trainees got knocked out legitimately. There was an interview, and they got knocked out. And they told They had to check on Mickey James. It was one of her kids, her students said, he's your opponent, check on him. And then after they called all the trainees around, and the Undertaker even said, if your guy is knocked out, if your opponent's knocked out in the ring, don't touch him. Don't move him. You don't know if he's got a concussion. You don't know if he's got a broken neck or what. You wait for the referee to tell you what to do. But if you're but the thing you say, and he just 2 words. If you think you hurt your opponent, the first person on the scene is the opponent, and just ask, you good? Yeah. That's it. You good? You don't get a response. You get a no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You leave. But yeah, they say don't touch the person.
We saw a perfect example of it in NXT this week.
I was just about to bring that up with Jordan Grace.
Great minds think alike, motherfucker. Cora Jade, and she got rocked. And this isn't a Jordan Grace's dangerous thing. It's just something that happened. And what happened? Grace stops. She realizes that she's not okay. Tells the referee talks, and then nope, we're done. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, they were saying that's why Sammy Guevara has heat in AEW, because he remember when Jeff had a concussion and he did the shoot stoppers and need him in the head again.
Yeah.
The last guy you want to have more brain trauma is anybody, but it's Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
And you're gonna concuss him into more drinking, and I don't mean that as an insult. The man has an addiction problem, and you're just let me hit him in the head again. All right, it's fine.
When Moxley at that match with Penta, when he lost the, and I blame that on Moxley because he already said he wasn't hurt. So why are you and Penta they want to go to the finish, so Penta picks him up and drops him on his head again. It's like, what the fuck? Just go home.
Let me just say, I am so fucking over Moxley.
He's the worst. He's the worst.
The turns of table. They're nocturnal. They're only turnal at knocked. There's flying squirrels about. No, that was for Craig. We've gone from me being upset that he left WWE, went to AEW, and was having a good time too. You just go to fuck home.
Yeah,
I'm good. I mean, what the fuck do I know?
And I remember when the Shield debuted, he was like the guy that everybody was excited for.
Yeah, because of his past. Yeah.
I remember the stuff he did with Mick Foley when it looked like they were going to feud. But this Death Rider stuff, please end it. And look, I know Edge is 53 or whatever. If Edge has to be, somebody needs to take the belt off of him and just blow this whole thing up.
Well,
and get Cesaro back in WWE.
Yeah, somebody has to be the adult cope in the room and go, you know what? We're not doing this.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
No, he doesn't even have heat. It's not even go home heat. It's like we don't care heat. He doesn't get any reaction coming to the ring. It's death as far as the ratings go. No one's watching that shit. No, it should be the Hurt Business. Have Lashley do it. Yeah, at least because he's somebody that the fans actually give a shit about and get behind. And of course, because they are the most over thing in the company, they're not on TV at all for another 2 weeks or so. And they're supposed to be your AEW Tag Team Champions. But there's nobody you can get behind. I forget that Moxley is AEW champion because the belt means nothing. He means nothing. He never defended. So why would I care if he's going to fight a 53-year-old Cope, which is a terrible name?
It's part of his name.
Yeah.
Come on.
Speaking of terrible, and it's not a segue at all, but there's just so much to choose from. One of you discovered today on YouTube, there's a new channel devoted specifically to WCW.
I played dumb to let Derrick. I played dumb because Derrick was like, "Dude, there's a new WCW." I saw it 2 hours before, but I was at work. So I didn't. But I was serious. I didn't want to go. Yeah, I saw it because it just sounds like I fucking hate when somebody comes at somebody excited and goes, "Yeah, I saw it 2 hours ago." You know how many times my dad will send me Genesis clips, and he's excited. He's like, "Look, I saw this first." I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's not," and I'm not like that. I'm just like, oh, that's so awesome.
This is how nice of a guy I am. I saw it, and the first person I thought was, Dan's gonna love this.
Thank you, Derrick. And now imagine if you did that, and then I was like, yeah, I saw it.
Just like, so there's a TV show called Paradise that I watch, right?
Yeah.
And on the latest episode, they played a Phil Collins song.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I wanted to do was, oh my God, Dan, are you watching Paradise? It's an amazing show, and they're playing Phil Collins on it. See, this is how my mind works.
What song? Don't tell me you don't remember it now.
Another Day for You and Me in Paradise.
Oh, Another Day in Paradise.
The show, Derrick. The name of the show.
I was gonna say I wanted to make sure. I didn't want to be like, I think it's called Paradise, and Dan's like, you're wrong. But yes, the name of the song.
No, because I'm not like that either. Because I'm not a gatekeeping jerk off. I was said, oh, Another Day in Paradise. Blah 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 blah.
No, but
you guys know me better than that. And why would? Come on.
No, it's a great show, Derrick. I agree. But all they cover a lot of 80s songs by different artists, so it's a very slow acoustic version of Another Day in Paradise.
What?
Perfect. It's perfect with the story.
Whoa.
It fits perfectly.
Yes.
Is it a cover or is it Phil's singing?
No, it's a cover.
It's a cover.
Who did it?
I don't know. I don't know who any of the artists are, but they do a lot of covers of 80s songs. And the last episode of Paradise was, for the closing moments, it was acoustic version of Another Day, and very slow, because I didn't recognize it until I heard the melody.
She calls out to the man. Did you know that that was the last song? That is the song that ended the 80s at number one?
No, I did not.
It went in from 89 to 90 as the number one song on the charts.
Wow.
Well, if it's the 80s, it had to be either him, Mike, Janet, Prince, or Bobby Brown. Those are like the five biggest. Oh, and Madonna. Those are like the six biggest stars in the 80s.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, the thing is I think that you mentioned the folks that literally just traded hits back and forth. The big hit.
Yeah. They ran the 80s. Yeah.
I'm sending you guys something, because speaking of 80s, if you saw this, then you knew that the album was good coming up.
Oh no.
No.
Well, what was the other thing you mentioned? Another Day in Paradise by Phil Collins, performed by Joyner from the Hulu show Paradise. There it is. Found it.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there it is. I just sent it to you guys. So you knew the album was good when you saw this.
Now, can I bring this up on? Is he a good boy?
Yeah.
Can I bring this up on Facebook, or is this something you don't want to show?
No, go ahead.
Let me bring it up here. Oh no! Hold on.
He's right.
When you saw the link, you know it was good.
I mean,
you know what's about to happen.
Kelly, can you hand me that glass thing with Richie on it? You got me.
You know.
I got to show you this thing.
Okay.
It's funny. Thriller.
I'm
Rolling Stone. They made a list of songs, the worst song on great albums.
God, I love that meme. That's amazing. Sorry, Derrick.
And Thriller, they said the worst song on Thriller was
Liberian Girl?
No.
The worst song on Thriller.
Not The Woman in My
Thriller,
Life.
Kelly.
Is it The Woman in My Life?
What? The Lady in My Life.
The Lady in My Life. They said The Lady in My Life is the worst song on Thriller. And
Come
I
over
almost
here.
threw my telephone.
What song did you say was the worst on Thriller?
They said it's The Lady in My Life. They said that's the worst song.
No. Kelly said it was PYT.
Oh, Mike. Oh, no.
No.
It's The Girl Is Mine.
The Girl Is Mine.
Goddamn Girl Is Mine.
Paul McCartney?
Yeah.
I mean,
I understand why Mike brought the Beatles catalog, because out of the two songs that they did, Paul got the best one.
Yeah.
Like, he got the best one out of. He fleeced him.
oh, you mean Say?
Say is a
It's
thousand
great.
times better than The Girl.
I
Is
don't
Mine.
hate The Girl Is Mine, but Say fucking slaps, man.
It's
Every
a
time I
million
hear it, I'm
times-
like, this song's corny. And then it gets to those two trading off. I'm like, nah, it's good.
And it had harmonica in it, too. That's what made
Wow,
it.
wow, 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 wow.
The worst song of Thriller, I always thought was Thriller. Just the video, but
To be
yeah, my brother
to be
hates Thriller.
fair,
Mhm.
your brother and Craig are correct, in my opinion. Yeah,
He goes,
Shiloh.
unless you're at a Halloween party, when are you playing Thriller? Like
Exactly.
he hates like he goes, it's just the video made it a big deal to everybody.
I'm leaving this up the rest of the show because that's fucking great. I wanted to actually no, I'm gonna take it down because I want everybody to see this. I want everybody to see this.
Ooh, yes.
All right, do you know what this is?
It's a cassette single or it's a CD single? Oh, it's a poster? Oh, it's a Coke mirror. Okay.
It is a Coke glass
Yes. Okay.
that Kelly found at an estate sale, and she knows I love Lionel Richie, so she got it for me. And it's usually in a frame, but we can't find one that I want to hang it up in that space, the negative space, right? How do I do this? Right here. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Dan. Right there.
Yes,
But we can't find a God damn it, Flyers. We can't find a frame that'll hold it without it falling. But I have this waiting for me. And yes, it is they used to sell these. Craig knows, you and I are maybe too young to remember these, but they used to sell these to literally.
No, can I tell you, because in the 80s I bought a Prince one and I bought a Michael Jackson one, without knowing that, because I don't do drugs, not knowing that they were mirrors for that use. I think, oh, it's got Prince on it. Give me. Oh, it's got Michael Jackson. I'll get it.
I'll give it to you.
Give me. Yes.
Whoops.
So I didn't know Lionel Richie was selling his house. So she got it at an estate sale. Was there anything else in there?
Not his estate sale. Some other dead guy.
Okay.
Was Richie there?
No,
because my ass would have ran there and been
Got
like,
it.
Lionel,
Sure.
say you, say me.
If we go back to the YouTube, the WCW channel, how far back does it go? Does it start right when it went from NWA to WCW?
Right now, it's got Greed up there because, sure. It's got Flair and Fujinami and Sting, the WCW Super Brawl. It's got a bunch of. I think it's all over the place. To answer your question, like we got.
I didn't know if there was any linear.
We got 98, 2000. We got 98 again. We got, what was that? 93, 92, 94.
Flair, yeah.
Now I'm pretty sure, and this is without Dan reading the dirt sheets too much. I think the network is dying. And what I mean by that is I'm fairly certain that after the Peacock deal is over, it's all going to be over here anyway.
Okay.
And that's fine with me.
Peacock, yeah.
Yeah, you can move the fucking pay-per-views here too, motherfucker. My point is, not you, motherfucker, them, motherfucker. I think this is going to be where stuff is, and that's fine with me because, for all intents and purposes, YouTube just you can categorize stuff on YouTube just like Netflix, Hulu, any of the streaming services where you can break it down by television show on a channel or playlist, so they can upload it in any order they want. But when you got playlists, like so I think eventually I think all of that's going to be there. I think Saturday nights, all the Thunders, they already got 3 Thunders, and I think the first 2 Nitros are up.
First 2 Nitros, I know it's the first Thunder, but yeah.
They got the first Thunder and then a random one from summer of '98. Yes, I can tell by what Luger's wearing. Don't shoot me.
I'm not. I was gonna say I want to check out the WCW channel, but honestly, I'm just gonna check out old Steve Austin stuff. Austin versus Steamboat stuff. Steve Austin versus Bobby Eaton, because like I've said many times, my favorite version of Steve Austin of as many is WCW Steve Austin. So just when the guy was in amazing shape, he didn't have the knee issues. That was my Steve Austin and the condition of Steve Austin, that had been in the late 90s WWE, the mind wobbles. But that's my favorite. I would be watching Austin Steamboat matches. That's how I would spend. That's probably how I'm going to spend my work day tomorrow.
I know what I'm doing after I get off the stream. I'm going to watch Clash of Champions. Or Wrestle War, just piss off the wife.
After bedtime, I got a text from my oldest son that goes, "Dad, can you download 2K?" Apparently 2K comes out at midnight, so I'll be downloading the WWE.
Okay.
But I will be watching that 93. Is that Super Bowl? Flair Vader, right?
Super Bowl.
Right? Oh no, Starrcade. No, it's Starrcade 93.
Starrcade 93.
And the reason why I know that is because I always tell people the two WCWs. There's before Hogan, where we had Flair versus Vader, and then Starrcade 94, Hogan and fucking Brutus. Goody gumdrops. Thanks, bitch.
Speaking of Butcher, you may realize coming up in 2 weeks, the season 7 of Dark Side of the Ring, with some great topics. I know one in particular one I'm looking forward to the most, and I know Dan, one you're looking forward to the most. But so, did you know about any of the topics, Derrick?
I know some of them. I know there's a Daphne one. I believe there's.
Listen to me, Derrick, before you continue. They better be real fucking nice about it.
They usually are. They usually get the family involved.
I know, but like, as long as they have the family's blessing, and I'm assuming they do. I'm talking trash.
They wouldn't do it unless they did, because
that is a story. That is a story that needs to be told. Because one thing that really pisses me off, other than the fact that she's gone, is that all the people that came out of the woodwork all of a sudden when she was gone, and I'm like, where the fuck were you?
Yeah.
Where the fuck were you?
There's a girl in NXT, Tatum Paxley, I think her name is, and her whole thing is like a tribute to Daphne. There's a Vader one, right? I remember being excited.
There was a Vader one, yeah. There's a.
I have the list right here. Hold on.
Yeah, Superstar Billy Graham is the one I'm looking forward to the most. There's a Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert that's way overdue. Tony Atlas.
that Ludwig Borga one is intriguing. I wonder how that's gonna go.
Well, because he was Tony Halme, and he was like, he's what Gunther would have been if Ludwig could work or talk. But a big, huge, Vince loved the foreign heels. He was from Finland, so he was going to be a Finnish terror. So because the United States has never had a beef with Finland, but of course Vince will invent one.
Well, give it time now.
A legitimate tough guy, but he had to cover up his. He had a tattoo on his calf, of an SS symbol. So couldn't use that, and he was involved in some type of crime when he was a youth, and now he's part of the Finnish parliament.
That seems to be the natural progression.
Tony Atlas is another one of the fascinating story, and we've seen him on other interviews talking about other people, but now we get to focus on himself, so he can tell his tall tales, without any interruption. He's not as bad as Hogan, but because he doesn't, Hogan lies when he doesn't have to. Tony just makes a lot of stuff up.
Talks about his dick a lot.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll. Go ahead.
I'm
sure it'll come up.
My favorite quote from last season was when they were talking about Pat Patterson. He goes, "He showed me his pecker." That's my favorite quote.
He showed me his pecker. I did. We kind of met him once at a wrestling event. They walked up to him, just filming, and they just said, "Hi, hey, it's Tony Atlas," and he was all about, "You guys buying something?"
That's what we were doing. That's right, Tony.
Okay,
What you
okay,
buying?
Tony. I totally stiffed Virgil over. I didn't stiff him over. I totally no sold him. Is the right because we were doing WrestleFest and I was just walking the tables to say hi to everybody because there was another vendor there, air quotes, because I was never in wrestling and I don't matter. And everybody was cool. Even New Jack was like, and I still walked away because I'm like, I'm getting stabbed today. And King Kong Bundy was a goddamn sweetheart. He was just having a good time. But then you get to old Virgil.
Yeah.
And he's got his $1 million belt. Hey, God bless him. I got no complaints about Virgil. But he's like, do you want to buy something? And I'm like, well, I'm a vendor here too. Let me go back to my table. I'll come back over later. Never went back, man.
I know that. King Kong, my King Kong Bundy story was I saw him and I went to take a picture of him. So then he took out his camera. This is how long ago it was, and he took a picture of me taking a picture of him.
Where's that picture? Do you have it?
I have it on my digital camera. I just haven't downloaded it.
We got to get that. That'd be cool. That's
but
awesome.
he was a great guy. I told you the best guy I ever met was Ted. It was Ted DiBiase. He put the $1 million belt on me, and because I was bending his ear, everyone wants to talk about his $1 million man stuff, but he's the one that told me the story about when he first turned heel, when he went to Ernie Ladd.
Yeah. You told me
Did I tell you that story, Derrick?
Tell the story again, please. Tell it again. I don't care.
Because when I met him, I want to go all the way back to Georgia Championship Wrestling when he got pile drive 7 times by Terry Gordy. So my question was, so when you were on pile driver number 4, what was going through your head? He laughed at that. And in the same laugh he has as the $1 million man. So I said, when you turned heel, that was like the biggest thing in wrestling, even before the internet. Everyone was talking about it. So how did that come about? He said, well, I'm wrestling in Mid-South, and I'm doing 20, 30-minute matches with Dick Slater, with Butch Reed and all that stuff. And I see Junkyard Dog comes out at main event, shakes the ropes, wrestles for 5 minutes, and gets all the money. And he doesn't have a heel. And Ernie Ladd was the booker then. He said he was always looking for it. He said, get me a heel. I need somebody to help me sell this guy. Or to get, and Ted went to Ernie's hotel room, knocked on the door because Ernie didn't have a home. He was always going someplace. So he was at a hotel, and he knocked on Ernie's door. Ernie opened it up, and Ted goes, I found your next heel. And Ernie goes, lay it on me. And Ted goes, you're looking at him. And Ernie just stopped for a second and went, yes, I am. That's when it started. And once he turned heel, he never turned back. And he turned one of the biggest heels in wrestling history. But it started when he turned on Junkyard Dog, like Cena turned on Cody. No one saw it coming. And the fans, if you look at it, you go back on YouTube and watch when he knocks out Junkyard Dog with a loaded glove and pins him, the fans are jumping up and down like, what just happened? Because these are the top 2 baby faces in the Mid-South. And it was a loser leave down match because the contract was signed before Junkyard Dog won the North American belt from Bob Roop. It was supposed to be Ted DiBiase versus Bob Roop for the North American title, and the loser must leave town. Junkyard Dog wins it 2 days earlier, and they kept the stipulation, and they showed on the air that Ted was best man at Junkyard Dog's wedding, and they were best friends, and Dog's a man, and he said, I'm a man of my word. If I lose to Ted, I'll leave. And if I know Ted's a man of his word, but I don't want it to come to this because he's my best friend. Had a clean match. Ted gets knocked out of the ring by accident. Junkyard Dog's holding the ropes open for him. Ted goes in his trunk, pulls out that loaded glove. Boom. Junkyard Dog sells it horribly. And he gets hit in the face, Derrick, and he lands face first.
Made sense at the time.
That's typical Dog. I told you about the Mr. Wrestling 2 knee lift. The way he sold it killed the territory. But anyway, he knocked your Dog with one punch and pins him and wins the North American title. So Junkyard Dog not only loses, but he's got to leave Mid-South for 30 days. And Ted DiBiase becomes the biggest heel in Mid-South history and goes on to be one of the biggest heels in wrestling history. And it all started when he said to Ernie Ladd, "I'm going to be heel." Y'all ready to go, Derrick? You got all your stuff? You ready to go?
I was just say the only other real quick. I'm not going to tell the whole thing, but the only other Ernie Ladd story I ever want to hear 100 times. Well, there's two more I want to hear every time, and that's him and Knox Baker. The Cleveland riot, was it Cleveland?
The biggest riot in wrestling history. Go to YouTube Cleveland riot. Ernie Ladd was a baby face, and
Dude,
he gets
just do the quote. Just
Ox. The natives are getting restless. He hit it with the hard punch, which knocks everyone out. And Ox Baker had two wrestlers that died after wrestling Ox Baker, and the legend was it was because of the hard punch. So he hits Ernie Ladd with it once, and Ernie goes down like he was shot. And then Ox, while Ernie was down, kept hitting him, and Ernie would convulse, and and then the crowd was coming towards the ring, and then they were screaming and yelling, and Ox just kept on hitting him. He kept saying, "Little more heat, little more heat," and Ernie looks up and goes, "Ox, the natives are getting restless." And then a fan jumps in the ring, and then a chair goes in the ring, and then a fan with a chair comes in the ring. And and Ox Baker and Johnny Powers, who just turned heel, have to literally run for their lives to get back to what is the breeze coming, and he keeps hitting them. Ernie's not moving; he's selling like a champ, and he's saying, "Ox, the natives are getting restless." Here
there you go, there you go. Trying to protect them.
There's the fans, yeah. And Ox Baker on his way back to that. And this was in the Cleveland Arena.
There's the chairs too.
Yeah, the hockey. So they had to run all the way back to the back of the arena to the dressing room. And Ox on the way back got hit with a chair so hard that it made a permanent crease in his head that he had to the day he died. And that's what he used, to be a heel. And yeah, look at this. They're trapped, and they're trying to figure out a way to get out because the chairs are coming in the ring. Fans are fucking pissed off, and Ernie, it's still, they had to drag him out. But yeah, and they're trying to look, that's a fan. That's not a guy. That's not a work. That's a fan who just tried to hit Johnny Powers. Now watch him run for his life towards the back while the fans are chasing after him. And there's fans. When that hit right there in the back of Ox Baker's head, that's what left a permanent crease. And that's all because Ernie Ladd was a babyface in Cleveland.
And the other one is Ernie Ladd taking out both of the Briscoes alone with a chain. Throwing their ass in a trunk, driving them to the hospital, dropping them off at the door, and leaving them there. That one's my favorite. Another one is when he was a booker and Butch Reed and Dick Murdoch got into a fight in the locker room, and Ernie tried to break him up. Now Ernie's 6'9", 330, but at this point his knees were shot, so he's trying to get in between these two, and he falls down, and he looks up and he sees Tony Atlas, and he goes, "Tony Atlas, break these two up and help me up, and I don't care which one you do first." God damn it. Ernie Ladd is the man. God damn it.
Sunday, you big fat piece of shit. Bring guys in and get you over, and what do? You dumb yourself right out of position.
Craig, where can people follow you, sir?
They can follow me and my Winter Soldier ass. Captain America ass. On Facebook, on Instagram, on X, on Threads at Craig Ligon, CraigLiGgeons.
Mr. McDonald, you are not on social media for good reason.
I hope to join you one day, Derrick.
I hope to join you one day. Not today. It's not going to be today. Follow me on all social media platforms for now at DanLaw83. +1 is a jerk off. So just DanLaw83. For Craig Ligons and Derrick McDonald, I am the above average comedian. I am rent free in heads. And don't forget, not only keep it on the paper, but punch your local Nazi. Good night.